The information station, KRMS, Osage Beach.
It's time for the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Lakefront Living Realty is Missouri's only real estate firm focused solely on lakefront and lake access properties, changing lives one lake house at a time. So let's talk the waterfront lifestyle. Please welcome owner-broker Annie Faulstich and her guests for today's program.
Welcome to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage, where we're changing lives one lake house at a time. Have you ever dreamt of building your own lake home? Or have you been viewing properties on the market for way too long, not finding what you want? That's what we're talking about today, home building. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I hope you can stay with us for this hour because we have a great show scheduled giving you information on building your dream lake home. I have Tim and Cole Glascock with Glascock Construction, custom home builders here at Lake of the Ozarks for over 30 years in the studio. And later in the show, Doug Horman with Concordia Bank will be stopping by to discuss construction loan options. But as always, if you've not been able to catch the whole show or missed any of the previous shows, you can listen anytime on our YouTube channel, Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri. If you're a part of the crew following the show every week, thanks for coming back. This show truly is for the buyer, the seller, or the person that likes to stay involved in the lake real estate market at Lake of the Ozarks. I hope everyone has enjoyed September as we move into October, two of my favorite months at Lake of the Ozarks, and of course for boating. Things have not slowed down anywhere other than the water, so hopefully you're taking advantage of the quieter waters and all the fun festivities that the lake has to offer this time of year. Each week I like to talk about topics that typically affect buyers and sellers, giving you listeners answers to your most common questions. I will always continue to ask you to call my office or myself directly anytime with any further questions that you may have on one of the shows we've already aired, or if there was someone or a certain topic that you would like to hear us cover. It is important to me to be bringing you valuable information on buying and selling lakefront lake access property, as well as knowledge on the current real estate market. I will continue to bring in area experts in many fields to cover an array of topics, issues, and questions. So please do not ever hesitate to reach out with any questions or comments. You can reach us at our office directly, 573-693-1613. My cell phone, 573-216-4350, or always anytime at lakefrontliving.com. So it really is no newsflash that they are not making any more lakefront property at Lake of the Ozarks. That is why I wanted to discuss the topic of purchasing lakefront vacant land as well as possible teardown property, because it really has become a hot topic and avenue for buyers, again, more recently. With the increase in buyers and lack of inventory, we've seen an increase in lakefront vacant land or lot sales, jumping 20 to 30 plus additional lakefront lot sales from previous years of, let's say, 2015 and 16 till now. We've definitely seen that increase. But unfortunately, due to the lack of vacant buildable lake frontage left or available, it can be challenging on that search and purchase. So, of course, everyone would love to have that flat lakefront lot close to amenities with deep year-round water, city sewer, a large dock envelope, but let's be serious. We all know that those are few and far between, and if at all, if any, meeting any and all of that criteria. So really, where do we start? As always, I suggest working with a lakefront specialist that specializes in that niche. I've spoke about it before. With Lake of the Ozarks covering multiple counties and cities, you have a wide variety of covenants and restrictions. So working with a lakefront specialist and a local builder on your home is the best way to have peace of mind knowing that you have experts in your corner looking out for your best interest. It could literally save you thousands and a lot of unnecessary stress. When buying or finding that lot, here are a few things you want to keep in mind. Utilities, dock availability, restrictions, easements, and encroachments. Unfortunately, with a lot of lakefront changing hands and handshake agreements from the past, we find several properties in boundary disputes. And I unfortunately have worked with buyers and sellers on more than one this summer alone. So don't let that be you after closing and not sure 100% of what you own. We talk so much about docks and that being a true extension of your living space. And again, to be honest, one of the biggest reasons people decide to buy at Lake of the Ozarks, aside from many other lakes around the Midwest, is the ability to have your own private dock right off your back deck. So understanding your dock options on a vacant lot before you purchase it, it is crucial. The process can be long and possibly you don't even know where to start. What, the chicken or the egg, the lot or the house plans? That is why I've asked Glascock Construction to join me today in the studio to answer a few of those questions. Full disclosure this morning, I'm proud to call them family. My maiden name is Glascock, so this is my uncle and my cousin. Tim and Cole, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Tim, first, give the listeners some background on yourself and Glascock Construction.
Well, we've been at the lake since 1987. Building. We've always been around the lake and just enjoy it like everyone else, and we're able to make a home here and make a living also. Cole has went through Camdenton schools through here and then became in business with us, and it's just been a good road.
Yeah. Well, you were Lakefront weekender, as most of my guests and local business owners here have been. They all kind of started as weekenders at the lake and decided to find a way to get to the lake full time.
Absolutely.
Well, tell me, you all also primarily specialize in new construction homes. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. I know you had that niche as well, which is why I wanted to bring you in today talking about that new construction home build. So I've got a few questions I just kind of want you to take us through, and either one, Cole, Tim, feel free to jump in because just relax here. Kind of tell our listeners a little bit about that home building process. I know people that haven't built in the past may have misconceptions of a grueling process, or I'm sure have heard horror stories in the past from a friend or a family member. But I do believe that building at Lake of the Ozarks is different than many other areas. There are little nuances here, and of course I mentioned that earlier. The fact that we cover 3 different counties, primarily on the lake, and so many different cities, there is not one zoning regulation board over the whole lake that has a black and white description of what your restrictions are, what your building codes are. I know, some don't even have any planning and zoning still.
Yes, there is a difference in every county or city that we work in. Every one of them's doing a good job trying to bring building codes to the lake and make everything as good as possible, just like you would move from the city. So we are following quite a few of the BOCA codes and general building codes through the lake area. Planning and zoning is doing a good job. Overall, I think we've came a long way in the last, 20 years.
Yeah.
It was way different prior to that. But they're doing a good job.
Well, having the knowledge as yourself, having built lake homes all over the lake area in multiple cities and counties and subdivisions and restrictions, that's what I wanted to focus on, is that buyers go to a reputable local builder that has known the area long enough to know what different restrictions and covenants they're getting into prior to starting that build process.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, every one of them's just a little bit different. And it's nice to know, when you're starting to talk to a customer that you know what area they're in and you know what that area expects.
Yeah, what they're looking for. Well, that music means we're going to take a short break. It's break time now, but we'll be right back at Lakefront Living Radio Show. So please stay with us on News Talk KRMS, 1150 AM, 97.5 FM, and 103.3 FM. We'll be back talking further with Glascock Construction on a custom home building process. We're going to take a look at what that process might look like, and where do you start? Again, do you have the lot already purchased? Do you need to have those plans in place? Stay with us. We'll be right back.
They're back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Here once again is owner, broker, realtor Annie Faulstich and her guests.
Welcome back to the Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. Again, I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. If you missed the first part of the show, we are talking today about home building, custom home building, and vacant lots. I'm going to be bringing you later in the show different lots that we have available at Lakefront Living Realty right now that I feel are awesome custom home building lot options. So we are talking to Glascock Construction. We've got Tim and Cole Glascock in the studio with me this morning to give us some answers on that process of home building and custom home building. Stay with us as well. I've got Doug Horman popping into the studio with Concordia Bank to talk to us about the nuances of home loans or construction loans, really, and how that process works. So if you left off with us just before the break, we were talking with Tim and Cole about Glascock Construction, how they made it to Lake of the Ozarks, and a little bit about building and how it's different here at Lake of the Ozarks, working on not only planning and zoning and different restrictions, but I get a lot of questions too about building on the hillsides. I mean, that's probably the biggest one that we get. Everybody is so used to having homes, or typically they're coming to us from the city. They're coming from Iowa and Kansas, flatter lands. So when we're out looking at lots, and I have this a lot with my buyers where they say to me, how in the world is anybody going to build something on this hillside that is going to stay put? Obviously, it's worked. You drive around on your boat on the lake, you see all kinds of homes built on all kinds of different terrain, and it happens elsewhere around the nation, so it's not just particular to Lake of the Ozarks, but we do have quite a bit of rock and different terrain here at the lake. How do you all go about that, or give us a couple ideas of what that looks like? It's
definitely a struggle. Yeah. There's no two ways about it.
It's probably changed a lot in the last 30 years also.
Yes, it has. And we're not getting the better lots to build on anymore because we're so limited to the lots that we have available now. And buying an older home and doing a tear down is sure been a very good way to do it now and getting a quality lot that you are able to walk down to the dock on and not slide.
Yeah. Are you seeing more of that? People purchasing homes either to tear down, or maybe families who have had a cabin or lakefront, home here at the lake for many years, deciding to go ahead and tear down?
A few buy the older homes and tear them down, but most of our clients that we've had lately has been in the family for several years, and they're wanting to build new construction, and they'll do a tear down, which is very beneficial because they usually have a very nice lot. Fairly flat, and there's no way to, obtain one other than having it or going out and purchasing an older home.
There's no more on the horizon coming, I have a feeling. I mean, what's here is here, so we have to work with what we have.
For sure.
We've talked a lot about, and we had a previous show regarding remodels, in additions to homes as well. But we find in a lot of cases, that's very particular as well. You don't always want to do a major home addition or remodel to an existing home that's been in the family for so many years. I know in a lot of cases you find that it is better just to go ahead and tear down and start new.
Well, of course. I mean, even though you remodel and you go through a very extensive remodeling addition or whatever, you still don't have the taller ceiling heights. There's just a lot of different things that date it, even though you've just done a remodel. And that's why I feel like a teardown is worthwhile. And then you got exactly what you want. You're not building on an envelope that's already there. You can do pretty much whatever you want by doing a teardown.
Yeah. Well, Cole, tell me this. So do you require a client to come to you all, if they're coming to build a home, do you want them to already have that lot purchased? And do you want them to already have their house plans in place?
Sometimes it's better to have the lot purchased, but that's not a necessity. We can design around a lot is the best way to do it to make everything flow. But just ideas and working together and going through all the bad ones to find the good one.
Yeah. So would you rather them have house plans or no?
It really doesn't matter. A lot of the times when we have house plans or somebody comes in, a client with house plans, we just modify them to the way it's going to fit the lot. And
those certain setbacks and whatever is required for that.
Yeah, and we can tweak it and just make it suitable for them and their family.
Gotcha. So take us through kind of that process of a custom build. What steps, where do you start and take your clients through?
Well, basically we'll have a meet and greet. The customer has to feel comfortable with the builder. They've got a long-term relationship. A lot of times it'll go on, for 12 months, or maybe even more, depending on how much they have. Do they have the lot? Do they have the plans? If they don't have the lot, it's really nice to go out and look at something they're wanting to purchase and say, yeah, it's going to work well, or no, it's not going to work well. A lot of the lots that are left now, they have some really struggles. You'll have ravines or drainage going through there that you have to reroute. And a lot of times that just costs a lot more money in concrete and site work, that if you would purchase a better lot, you're not spending that much money.
Yeah.
So sometimes less isn't more on that.
That's a good point.
And once you have the lot purchased, we'll do a design build in-house, or if they, like we said, if they have their own plans, architect draws it up or whatever, it's great too. We do either or. Most of the times we do trick the house a little bit, even though they have a set of plans. Cole does the drawings and sits down with the people and goes through the whole process. We'll start drawing a floor and getting an okay on it, and then you go to a lower level or upper level, and then elevations. And then once we have that done, then we can give them a bid on the home, a firm bid. And then, of course, we do allowances on items that they pick out and whatever custom features they want on that.
Yeah, perfect. Well, and we kind of talked about that. My next question was, have you seen things change here at the lake over the last 30 years in building? I mean, you kind of touched on that a lot with, I know, 20, 30 years ago, there was no P&Z in planning and zoning or different areas, and now using pump trucks instead of a couple guys and a few buckets of concrete, maybe to pour a foundation. But anything else, that you've seen change over the last decade?
Probably the biggest change we saw is the internet and communication between the builder and the homeowner. A lot of our clients are, they're several states away. And it's so nice that we can communicate by email, and we can send them photos during the build job. And we're almost talking, more than just daily. And 20 years ago, it was all phone conversation, and it was very hard to communicate.
Yeah, especially for them to be able to visualize and see, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I know that you specialize in new custom home building, and you've built homes all over the lake area. I mean, I encourage listeners to check out your website, first of all, GlascockConstructionInc.com. That's GLASCOCK constructioninc.com, or give them a call at 573-348-3229. They have an office located in Osage Beach, actually just behind us here at the studio on Chapel Drive behind Hope Lutheran Chapel. Definitely encourage anybody, if you're really thinking about maybe building that dream lake home and moving here full-time, get a hold of a local contractor and have them walk you through those steps so that you won't leave yourself disappointed in the end or after a lot purchase that may not work for your needs. So, Tim and Cole, thank you both so much for taking the time to join me today in the studio.
Thanks for having us, Annie.
Yep. Well, stay with me because I've got Doug Horman with Concordia Bank coming in next to talk to us about those commercial construction loans and how that looks for the potential home buyer. So we will be right back on the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. And remember, you can always find us at lakefrontliving.com.
Hi, I'm Haley Glover, Realtor and Lakefront Specialist with Lakefront Living Realty at Lake of the Ozarks. You can find me at lakefrontliving.com or email me directly at Haley, Haley, at lakefrontliving.com.
They're back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Here once again is owner, broker, realtor Annie Faulstich and her guests.
Welcome back to Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying and selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. Again, I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. If you were with us at the earlier part of the show, today we are talking about custom home building and purchasing vacant lots or teardown homes to build your dream home. We had Glascock Construction in the studio earlier discussing that process and of custom home building and really what has changed over the course of the last few decades at Lake of the Ozarks and the nuances of building here at Lake of the Ozarks. But now I am so pleased to welcome Doug Horman with Concordia Bank in Lori. He's here in the studio now to discuss construction loans with me. Doug, thanks for being here.
Hey, Annie, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah, we'll start by giving us a little background on yourself and how you made it to Lake of the Ozarks, and then a little on Concordia Bank.
Okay. Moved to the Lake of the Ozarks in 2007. I'm a community bank guy, and I was working in St. Joseph, Missouri for a bank that sold my community bank, and it sold to a large national bank in Milwaukee. And so the next thing I know, I'm in St. Joe, Missouri, contacting people in Kansas City who contacted people in Milwaukee to make decisions that I used to just make myself. And like I say, I'm a community bank guy, and I like the process simple. And that started, we said we need to look someplace else. So I actually, in 2007, moved to the Lake of the Ozarks to work for a community bank here, but then have found that I enjoy the lake life. We really enjoy living at the Lake of the Ozarks and working for a community bank. So it's a win-win.
Yeah, we always talk about lifestyle at Lakefront Living Realty. I mean, that's what we do. All of our agents live on the water, enjoy the lake, and it's just always exciting to hear. We said the same thing earlier with Tim and Cole, and how so many people that live and work at the lake full time have started as second homeowners, and we're just drawn to the lake to be here full time.
We have found that for our family, the Horman family, I think we're the same people that lived in St. Joe, but when we moved to the lake and we have a fun boat and we have several bedrooms, we're a lot cooler than the people. We're just a lot more popular than those folks that lived in St. Joe.
Yeah.
And we love it, particularly in the summer.
Exactly. Well, fun. Well, today we're diving into building that dream lake home. We've talked about the purchase of the lot and some tips from a home builder. Let's talk about the lending process and how that differs from a conventional home loan. You know, we as agents are constantly advising our clients, whether they're, purchasing a lake home, a lake condo, or whatever the purchase may be, that it's best to work with local lenders. So I can only imagine on a construction side that that's even more true, because that process is quite a bit longer. Maybe that relationship or transaction may have a few more steps to it compared to just, purchasing the condo, closing, and moving on.
Sure. Concordia Bank makes a lot of construction loans. Primarily, we keep the process simple. You have to realize banks have trade territories, and so I get to work with a lot of financially successful people from Kansas City, St. Louis, Southern Iowa, not this area, that are building custom homes as second homes. And the reason is they have a relationship with their lender in their hometown, but that lender can't make a construction loan at the Lake of the Ozarks. Similar, I can't make a construction loan in St. Louis because we don't have any branches there. So they need to meet a new lender, and so that's a great opportunity for us. And again, we keep the process very simple.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about the construction loan, or break that down. I guess I was going to ask about, kind of what product you have available. Maybe there is only one product, or give me an idea of how that looks.
Okay. So the first step, it is similar to a conventional home loan in that the borrower applies, fills out a home loan application. We verify assets, liabilities, income, pull a credit report, everything just like a conventional home loan. So you're applying for enough money to build the home. Enough money would be the total of the amount you borrow plus any money you might put in of your own cash, if that's the case. Sometimes people buy the lot and that's their equity, and they don't put any cash towards the actual construction. So once they fill out the application, then the loan is approved by a weekly loan committee normally, and then we close the loan. A difference on versus a construction loan versus a conventional home loan, it's actually a line of credit. So it's like a credit card. So money's available and you pay interest only on the money you use for the time you use it. I left out after the loan is approved, then there's an appraisal completed, and people ask, well, how can you appraise something that's not there? It's called a pre-construction appraisal, or I call it an as-will-be appraisal. So the appraiser looks at the land and says, what will it be worth with this house? And they have house plans and normally a contract with the builder, so regarding the cost of the project. So with the cost and the house plans, they can complete a pre-construction appraisal.
Okay. Just to kind of stop you for a minute, you mentioned about the buyer, client maybe usually or may already have that lot purchased, and they can use that for, down payment equity. Are they typically looking at the 20% down of the value, same as a conventional home loan for construction?
That's typical, and Concordia Bank actually has some leeway. Sometimes we can go in excess of 80%, but they'll have some, I call it skin in the game. They'll have some money into it, but normally 20% or thereabout. Okay.
But yeah, and you I interrupted you on your kind of process of that. But so, after that appraisal, go on a little bit further about how that looks.
The appraisal or the construction?
Just the construction loan, yeah.
Okay, so the construction loan is a line of credit. And so let's say, for example, they chose Glascock Construction as the builder, and So the project is starting when we close the loan, the line of credit. So you have a loan, and we also open a construction checking account. So someplace to put the money. So let's say the first draw, the project starts, and there's excavation and concrete. The contractor would submit invoices to pay those to Concordia Bank. We would prepare a draw request sheet summarizing that. We would send the draw request to the borrower. The borrower then approves, because it's their loan, approves the draw request. And after the borrower has approved the draw request, then the bank deposits that amount of money into the construction account, and the builder can pay the subs. We pride ourselves, we try to get that done fairly quickly. We understand it's important that the general contractor has a relationship with the subs, and that those get paid without a lot of delay or a lot of hassle. So we consider that very important. Might also mention that something unique: our construction account checks have lien waiver language on them, and that's unique. We also oversee the disbursements, the construction disbursements, and also construction inspections, and we don't have a third party do that. That keeps the process simple as well.
Yeah, that's really interesting to hear and exciting. That was going to be my next question too, about the disbursements and the lien waivers. In a lot of cases, you have to involve a title company or an outside source with that. In the process, it's been a few years since I've built a custom home myself, but having gone through two, that can kind of become a tedious process to worry about the lien waivers and the disbursement and making sure that everybody's getting paid. So that was really interesting to hear that you have that as kind of part of that check, and that the borrower takes advantage of.
We're pretty old-fashioned, and that is an old-fashioned way to do it, but it works well for us, and the builders appreciate, because the builders, it's they've got enough going on. It shouldn't be a hassle to pay subs once they've done their work. So we understand that and value that relationship.
Yeah. Anything else that you could give advice to a home buyer that is considering building and getting a construction loan? Anything that you want to give them advice on up front?
Choose a good builder. That's 99.9% of it. Choose a good builder. Understand what the cost is. It's not untypical to have cost overruns, so be prepared for that, to have some margin left either in the loan or in your funds available.
Okay. Perfect. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about that. That music means it is time for a short break. So stay with us on the Lakefront Living Realty radio show. We're going to be back in the studio with Doug Horman and Concordia Bank to talk a little bit more about construction loans and what else that they have to offer at Concordia Bank in Laurie for your local lending. And as always, you can catch us at lakefrontliving.com. But now, keep in tune to News Talk KRMS, 1150 AM, 97.5 FM, and 103.3 FM. We'll be right back.
They're back. Thanks for listening to the Lakefront Living Realty radio show on News Talk KRMS. Here once again is owner, broker, realtor Annie Faulstich and her guest.
Welcome back to Lakefront Living Real Estate Show, your trusted guide to buying or selling property at Lake of the Ozarks, where every day is a lake day. Again, I'm Annie Faulstich, owner-broker of Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. Welcome back. If you have been with us, we are talking about home building, custom home building, buying lakefront lots, whether they're vacant or for a tear down, and how that looks. We left off just before the break talking with Doug Horman from Concordia Bank. And we were talking about construction loans, which I know is something that obviously one small piece of the pie that you all do at Concordia Bank. So tell me a little bit and give our listeners an idea of other things and options that you offer at Concordia Bank.
Well, we make all types of loans, obviously. I mean, we're a full-service bank, so we make commercial loans and residential loans and consumer loans and basically all types of loans. We also offer mortgage loans, which is important as we talk about when you obtain a construction loan from Concordia Bank. It's normally a 12-month term. You pay interest. The borrower pays interest only each month. And at the end of the construction process, when the house is done, then you want to pay off the construction loan with a long-term mortgage loan. And Concordia Bank does that also. And we actually start the mortgage loan process when you obtain the construction loan. Oftentimes the borrowers are pre-approved for the mortgage loan, and anything that we need to know to prepare financial information, a lot of the same financial information that it takes to obtain a construction loan, you also need for a mortgage loan. So we already have that, but we try to have everything in line, so as soon as the house is done, an appraisal can be ordered, and the mortgage loan is soon thereafter. Interest rates are really good right now, so it's amazing. We closed a mortgage loan Monday, 3.5% for 30 years.
Wow,
that's pretty good. I'm 61 years old. I haven't seen that. Don't see that very often.
Yeah, I did want to briefly touch on that topic because, of course, anytime we have a lender in the studio, we always want to talk about interest rates, and I do, it's crazy low right now. So, it's not just me as the real estate agent telling people now's the time to buy and to borrow some money because it's as cheap as it's ever been.
We've actually had people that obtained a mortgage loan a year ago that built a new home, got a construction loan from us, obtained a mortgage loan, and then this year, a year later, refinanced and dropped maybe 1%. And if it's a significant amount of money, 1% it's well worth it.
Yeah. Tell our listeners, Doug, how's the best way to reach you?
Best way to reach me is Concordia Bank at Laurie. Phone number is 573-374-2265. Email dhorman, DHORMAN at Concordia-bank.com.
Yeah, that Concordia Bank website is a really nice site. I've gone to that a few times, so be sure to check that out and look that up. Their local bank in Laurie is nice too. You can stop in there anytime and see Doug, but it's Concordia, CONCORDIA-bank.com. So, Doug, thanks so much for being in the studio with me today. I appreciate you taking the time out on your busy weekends as well, away from your family, to join us and give our listeners a little bit more insight on mortgages and construction loans.
Thank you, Annie. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah. Well, stay with us. As always, each week, I bring you new listings and exciting listings from Lakefront Living Realty. Again, Missouri's only exclusive lakefront lake access brokerage. This week, of course, I want to bring you some great lakefront build lots we have available. I want to talk to you about a few lots today because you can always see, well, I'll talk to you about a few lots, but of course you can always see what we currently have at lakefrontliving.com. I want to start with a lakefront lot in Portachima. I know there are quite a few lots in Portachima right now, so let me tell you why this one is different. 2 words: price and location. With the majority of the lots ranging in the $300,000 range and on the main channel, this lot is 111 feet of waterfront and sits in the perfect cove location with deep water, totally protected from the rough channel, and tons of room for any size dock. The best part is it is listed at $199,000. Surrounded by $1 million plus homes, this lot is extremely buildable and would give you a gentle, if not flat, walk out to the water. Room with a pool. you can watch a video of the cove location and water location on Zillow, or an awesome promotional video of the lot and location on our YouTube channel. So look this one up at 129 Waterford Terrace. Again, that's in Portachima. The second lot I want to tell you about is located in Osage Beach and Port Royal Estates, in one of the most convenient locations off Nichols Road, truly in the heart of Osage Beach. This lot features city water and city sewer and is located on a quiet cul-de-sac with one of the best views you will find at the lake, giving you a flat driveway and seriously 180-degree view with 6+ miles. This will be that dream lake home 365 days a year. A community pool just steps from the house. I mean, what more could you want? I have many buyers today that are looking for lakefront property but not wanting to boat necessarily or endure the expense of maintaining a private dock, but still wanting the amazing one-of-a-kind views. So this one would be for you. But if you are a boater and you want the best of both worlds, with Surdyke and Kelly's Port just a golf cart ride away, you can house any size boat with ease of not having to maintain a dock. The seller has an incredible 5,200 plus square foot house plans ready and available with the lot, or of course, you can always design your own. The third lot I want to mention is also a convenient location in Lake Ozark off of Duckhead on Wilmore Road. This property is just under 2 acres and has 140 feet of waterfront. So convenient location and plenty of room to build 1 or 2 private lakefront homes. So build your estate and a spot for your family. This one also is a wide cove with deep year-round water and is a no-wake cove. This one is listed at $135. So again, visit our Instagram, our YouTube, or our Facebook page anytime to see further videos and photographs on any of these lots or properties that we have for sale. We always talk about selling a lifestyle at Lakefront Living Realty. Sometimes it takes building that lifestyle, and we are here to help. Growing up around construction my whole life and having built 2 homes myself, I know there can be great joy in creating something of your own. If you would ever like to talk directly to one of our lakefront specialists regarding buying or selling, contact us directly through lakefrontliving.com and go to the Missouri page. You could be our next week's featured listing. If you are curious of your home value, I want to mention this again, please do not look it up on Zillow and get your Zestimate. Go to lakefrontliving.com and use our patented Calculator tool. That's right, it's a Calculator tool. By answering a few questions on your property, it will give you an accurate market price range for your home. There, you can also sign up for our weekly newsletter, The Lake House Scout, or read our blog, Lake House Lookout, that are specific to Lake of the Ozarks. Weekly tips from myself are on our YouTube channel, Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri. My family and I live and work to boat and enjoy all that Lake of the Ozarks has to offer. Real estate truly is my passion, so every day is a lake day. Until next week, enjoy family and friends this weekend and stay safe on the lake. I again want to take a moment to thank Doug from Concordia Bank for joining me in the studio today, talking a little bit further about that, building that dream of your lake home, and Glascock Construction for being with us today. Stay tuned with us next week and every week. You can find our episodes previously recorded on our YouTube channel at Lakefront Living Realty, Missouri. And as always, I want to thank you all for joining us each week on News Talk KRMS. Remember, you can listen each week on krmsradio.com. You can tune in to 1150 AM, 97.5 FM, and 103.3 FM, and now on HD3 at 93.5. Please keep with us each week, and you can always join us at lakefrontliving.com. We'll look forward to hearing from you next week.
Hi, I'm Stacy O'Neill, Realtor and Lakefront Specialist with Lakefront Living Realty at Lake of the Ozarks. Call or email me directly to put my love for the lakefront lifestyle to work for you. You can find me at lakefrontliving.com. Call 573-745-0946 or email me directly at Stacy, Stacey, at lakefrontliving.com.
Tell a friend or neighbor to join you to listen in next week for the Lakefront Living Realty Radio Show. Visit their website for more information, including current listings and agent contacts. lakefrontliving.com. That's lakefrontliving.com. Or give the office a call at 833-LKFRONT. That's 553-7668. And join them next Saturday right here after the news at 11 a.m. on News Talk KRMS.